We talked a little bit about Anthony Richard yesterday. Spent the early part of his career after being drafted by Nashville playing out west in the Central Division, where the Grand Rapids Griffins, of course, compete. This his sixth AHL team now in 9 seasons. Had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week about what brought him to the Philadelphia organization, and here were the Phantoms.
I know from playing here that it's a great spot to play, and I have a family, so I knew the Lehigh Valley area was a nice spot to bring my wife and my son. So that was the first major aspect of signing here. Was I had good talk with Danny in Philly, good talk with Lappy too. So I was confident that if I would sign here, that was a good spot for me to perform in the AHL and giving me a spot to have a good chance to play some game in the NHL. So it was like it was a big decision, but I was a month in. I'm so happy that I decided to sign here. It's a nice area and a great group of guys, and the staff is awesome. So.
Now you played against the Phantoms with Syracuse, Providence, Laval. What do you remember about going against Lehigh Valley? What's kind of the scouting report out there?
Last year was really a tough team to play against. The way they played, they were really fast, physical, and even if we had a good team in Providence, I felt that the team that gave us the most difficulty to win any game was Lehigh Valley. We didn't have any trouble against Rishi, which is kind of hard because they were the best team in the league. But every time we would come to PPL Center, it was always a hard game, and that's what I felt when I played against them, and that was the reason I signed here. Is playing against a good team. You know, even if it's not always the best lineup, I feel like Lappy always gets their guys fired up, and the system it's good for a team that sometimes lack a little bit of skills, but they're really working hard last year, so they were hard to play against, and I feel like this year we're hard to play against again.
I know you've played for several different coaches, obviously, throughout your career. What do you like about Lappy's style so far from what you've seen?
He's very demanding on details and stuff like that, but he's also very close to his player, which is a good mix. I feel like that's the new generation of coaches. They're always really good of being hard, but they're also close enough to their player that they know when they have to push the hard button, or they have to kind of tap on your shoulder to lift you up a little bit. So I think he's really good at that. When you come on the bench and you have a bad shift, he's good to feel that either you need a lift up or you need a little boost. So so far he's been awesome.
You've had back-to-back 25-plus goal seasons. Right now this team is generating a lot of shots, but the goals have been a little bit harder to come by. Are you noticing anything, having a chance to watch from the press box too, that you guys could do differently, or do you think that's just a matter of puck luck at this point?
I think, our shot percentage is pretty low. I think our shot on net are always high the first 3 games. But I would say sometimes it's you just don't have to. If you think too much about like where you're shooting, sometimes that's where the goals are not coming. So I think keeping the way that we're shooting on that 40, like 35 and plus shot on net, eventually we're gonna create a lot of secondary scoring chance. And I think we had that the last game, and we just didn't score. But I think this weekend, if we keep shooting puck on net, going to the net, and eventually it's going to hit a skate, and it just needs 2 goals in the first period on Friday or Saturday, and the offense is going to get going. And there's few guys that are gripping the stick right now, but they're a really good offensive player. And when the first one's going to come in, they're going to, even if they shoot 5 or 6 times, they're going to find a way to find it back in the net for sure.
Going back to the early days in your career, when did the passion for hockey start for you? How old were you? What are some of your earliest memories of the game that have kind of kept you going?
From what my parents told me, I was always a hockey fan since I'm like 2 years old. That was the first thing my parents bought me for Christmas, was like a mini stick, and it just kept going and going. And never played with toys. It was always mini sticks. I went outside playing hockey with my brothers. It was always hockey. And it was funny because when I had my son, I started to play with toys for almost the first time, and like Legos and stuff like that. So it was kind of funny at like 24, 25 years old. It was the first time I was playing with Legos. So it was always hockey, and I was playing other sports in the summer like soccer or baseball, but it was always a part of me.
Now, you mentioned coming to the Lehigh Valley. Part of that was a good spot for a family. Have you had a chance to explore?
Yeah, we've been around a couple spots. Obviously, we went to the golf tournament, which is like a nice area. I live close to there, so it's really peaceful. It's quiet, and I think been in the cities for almost like 3-4 years, living in Laval, Montreal, Milwaukee, downtown area. It was kind of nice to just being outside and in the fresh air. And I'm walking every night with my son, and we're seeing deers almost every night, and it's like kind of blew me away that they're just walking the street, which is nice. And it's a nice lifestyle here, that's for sure.